Hello and welcome to Math with Mrs. Becker. Today we are looking at College Algebra, Chapter 2, Section 1, the second half of the section. So reminder from the first part of 2.1, f of x equals a times the quantity x minus h squared plus k. This is called the standard form of a quadratic because you can quickly look and identify lots of different properties about that function. If a is positive, the graph opens up. If a is a negative value, the graph opens down. You can quickly see if there is a vertical stretch or a compression, again, looking at that a value. You can see if we have a horizontal slide or a vertical slide. Your vertex, which is the center point, it will either be the maximum or the minimum. It is located at HK. So the x value of the vertex is whatever you're subtracting from x in parentheses. That's the x value for the vertex. Your y value for the vertex is k, whatever you are adding or subtracting to the end. So what they're going to have us do now is take information about our equation and be able to write the equation in standard form. So this says that our vertex is located at 1, 2. Remember, your vertex is HK. Your parabola passes through the point. Every point has a value xy. So looking at the standard form, f of x, remember, you can change it to y. So it's y equals a, x minus h, quantity squared plus k. So looking at this, I have h and k, and I have x and y. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those in. So y is negative 6. We don't know a. Nothing here is a value for a. So I keep that as an a. X is 3 minus h. That is 1. Quantity squared plus k is a 2. Now what I can do is I can solve for a here. If I go ahead and look, negative 6 equals a times order of operations. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 squared is 4 plus 2. If I want a by itself, I can minus the 2 over. That would make this negative 8 equals 4a. Go ahead and divide both sides by 4. A equals negative 2. As long as you know the vertex and your a value, we can go ahead and write the standard form of that quadratic. It is f of x equals a, negative 2, x minus the x value from the vertex, quantity squared, plus k, which is the y value from the vertex. So I had to take the information that I knew, go ahead and fill in the xy, the hk. From there, I only had one variable remaining, so I had to solve for that variable, which is an a. After you know a and your vertex, you can just go ahead and fill into the formula. Let's do another one. The vertex is HK. Your graph crosses through the point 5, 1. So that is XY. Again, the formula is y equals a, x minus h quantity squared plus k. So I can fill in everything except for a. Y is really a 1. We don't know a. X is really a 5 minus h is a 4, quantity squared. Negative 1 goes at the end. So I can go ahead and keep working. 1 equals a times 5 minus 4 is 1. 1 squared is 1. If I want to solve for a, I can go ahead and add 1 over. 1 plus 1 is 2. A times 1 is just a. So a is 2. Your vertex is 4, negative 1. Those are the two things you need in order to find the function. F of x equals a. This is positive, so I know that the graph is opening upwards, meaning it has a minimum. There's a vertical stretch because this is a number that is bigger than 1, so this graph is more narrow than the parent function. We know all those things. X minus the x value from the vertex is 4, quantity squared. My y value from the vertex is a negative 1, so I minus 1. So here, is the equation in standard form. Okay, let's look at a couple more just because it's different. My vertex is -3, -2, so that is HK. The graph passes through the point XY. So it's Y, -4, equals A, we don't know, X minus the H value, quantity squared, plus K, in this case it's minus because our K value is negative. So look at all those negatives. This is a little wild. -4 equals A times. Minus a negative, remember that turns into a plus. So this is -1 plus 3, it's 2. 2 squared is 4, minus 2. If I add 2 over, -4 plus 2 is a -2 equals A times 4 is 4A. To solve for A, I need to go ahead and divide by 4. -2 over 4 is -1/2. Here is the A value. This tells me that my parabola opens downwards because it's negative. You're multiplying by 1/2, which is less than 1. So it is a vertical shrink or compression, meaning that the graph is going to be wider than the original parent function. Once you know A and the vertex, that's when you can go ahead and find that equation in standard form. It's f of x equals A, -1/2. X minus the x value from the vertex, it's a -3. So if you minus a negative, it becomes a positive. Quantity squared plus K. K is a negative, so it's -2. There's the equation in standard form. Okay, one more. X-intercepts, okay? X-intercepts, that's where your graph crosses the x-axis. So it happens at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have intercepts at 2 and we have intercepts at 8. Okay, the minimum value is 7, -7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now what you have to realize is that your vertex, remember your vertex is the center point, it would be exactly in between the two x-intercepts. And the minimum value telling us that that's where that vertex would be, it's going to be a parabola opening upwards, it has to be in between those two. So to find the midpoint between 2 and 8, we're going back to geometry in that midpoint formula. 2 plus 8 divided by 2. That's going to tell me what's exactly in between the two intercepts. 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So if I go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it tells me the minimum is -7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here is my vertex. You had to know that your vertex would fall exactly in between the two intercepts, so we needed to know the midpoint formula. Here is your vertex. The vertex, the x value in between the two intercepts is 5. The minimum value, the lowest that it went, is -7. Okay, so it said x-intercepts are 2, -8. The minimum value is -7. Sketch what this would look like. Okay, so we have that. If they wanted us to find the equation, we totally could do that. I have a vertex, that is H and K. Yes, I have more than one point, so pick one. This is 2 and 0. So I could go ahead and Y, 0, equals, we don't know A, X, 2, minus H, 5, quantity squared, plus K, so it's -7. If I add 7 over, 7 equals A times 2 minus 5 is -3. -3 squared is +9. So this is 7 equals 9A. Divide both sides by 9, and A equals 7/9. Once you know A and you know your vertex, we can go ahead and write that equation in standard form. Now A, this is a positive value, so my parabola would be opening up like it is. This is a vertical compression because 7 over 9 is less than 1. So just some random transformation things. Our equation. F of x equals a, positive 7/9. X minus the x value from the vertex, quantity squared, plus k, which is the y value for the vertex. So there would be my equation for this graph. Now the next part, we will go ahead and use a graphing utility. So I'm going to have to hit stop and go grab my phone to do Desmos. So we will have a part 1 and part 2 for this section. Go ahead and grab a snack and I'll be back with you shortly.